Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2017 Dodge Durango GT with the Blacktop package. Now this thing is all blacked out. It looks sinister, so let's go ahead and check it out. This vehicle sitting on 265 50 R20 Pirelli Scorpion tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels painted a gloss black to match the rest of the vehicle. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes on all four wheels. The name of this color is DB Black Crystal Clear Coat. And with the sun shining on it, you can see the little sparkles in the paint. It's looking awesome. So check out this grille. It's all black. You have a combination of flat black and gloss black there. The only thing not black is the red Dodge emblem. The headlights have an LED daytime running light there at the bottom, but they're powered by a projector halogen bulb for your low and your high beams. It's like a dual mode. It reshifts the focus to give you low and high beams out of the same projector tube. You also have fog lights that are projector as well, powered by halogen bulbs. This is what your key looks like. It's a proximity key system with your lock and unlock buttons there. You have remote start and the ability to open up your power liftgate and a panic button. It also has a physical key on the inside in case you need that, but generally you can keep this in your pocket without taking it out and use the vehicle. I have the key with me, put it in my pocket, walk up to the vehicle. I can lock the door by pushing this button. So I push that, you can see it locks. If I want to unlock it, all I have to do is put my hand behind the handle. It unlocks the door because it senses the key and it senses my hand position. Here's the inside of the passenger door with the soft to the touch surfaces around your arm here as well as up here at the top. You have a little storage pocket in front of the power window controls. Right in here is kind of a storage pocket as well. And then you have a bottle holder and storage space here. Here's your threshold with your door sill plate in aluminum with the Dodge name in it. Looking awesome. Now you have a combination of powered seats and manual seats, so this tilts the back and then you can adjust the bottom with this switch here. You also have a four-way powered lumbar adjustment. All black Napa leather seats with the black stitching. Very comfortable seats. They are heated as well. Okay, so you have plenty of legroom here in the front. The floor mats hook in place in two places. It's kind of like a big button style where it snaps in place, which is pretty easy to remove and install. You have a soft to the touch dash, and you have that accent right in here. Lockable glove compartment, and the inside of the glove compartment is felt lined, so nothing's rattling around in there. It also has this little compartment right here at the very top for storing your owner's manual or whatever you want. To go with the all black styling, it has the privacy glass here in the back. And it doesn't reduce your visibility looking out. It actually increases it because it reduces the glare. Okay, here's the inside of the back door. Same styling with the soft to the touch around your arm, and then you have that metallic accent there, bottle holder and storage pockets. There's your threshold area. So the second row seat is like a big bench seat. It does fold down in a 60-40 split fashion though, but generally it's just a big bench seat, so you can have three passengers back here. And the floorboard is quite a ways below the seat, so you actually feel like you're sitting in a chair and your knees are not sticking up. You have a center armrest with cup holders. You can move that out of the way. It does have the latch system for car seats. You have a slight hump here in the center, but not too bad for your center passenger to work around. You have your heated seat controls for your second row. There's your vents, which you can adjust from your higher or lower position. You have 2 USB ports and a 115 volt AC power adapter that holds up to 150 watts. You also have climate control adjustments up here. And then you have vents and lights all the way down to the 3rd row. Now these seats, they fold down in a 60-40 split, but they fold down in 2 positions. So the first position would be your cargo mode, so that way you can fold all your seats down and add to your cargo space. The second position would be to access your 3rd row. So we can lift that up, and here's your 3rd row seats, and they are quite a ways off the floor. So some vehicles that have 3rd row seating, the seats are very low to the floor, so your knees are sticking up in the air if you're an adult. But in this case, not too bad. You also have the carpeted area here on the sides that's kind of dished out to give you a little bit more room. And you have the cup holders here and armrests. There's your headrests. And they fold down in a 50-50 split fashion. Looking at the back of the vehicle, first thing you'll probably notice is this soft glowing red taillight, LED taillight that goes all the way across the back. And if you've ever seen one of these at night, you can really tell it's a Durango even from a distance. Okay, so you have the rear wiper spoiler there at the top with a 3rd brake light. You also have a backup camera in the very center position, which I think is the best place for one. Your badging is all blacked out as well. There's your GT badging. And then you have the Durango badging here on the left side. Parking sensors across the back, these little circles. You have a dual exhaust. There's your exhaust tips there in chrome. So we can use the key to open up the power liftgate, or we could just push this button under here and it'll rise for us. Now it has 2 lights underneath the liftgate, so that way it illuminates the area in which you would stand when you're accessing the cargo space, which I think is fantastic. Okay, so here's your cargo space. When you have all the seats filled with passengers, this is how much cargo space you have. And you do have a little bit more cargo space under here, actually quite a bit more, but this is out of the way. Then you have the tie downs there in case you need those, and then you have the 12-volt power supply with some bag holders here. Of course, you can put a shade. If you put a shade in this vehicle, you have 2 positions. One is this short position here, and then you have another one that the same shade can extend all the way out over top of the 3rd row seats if they're folded down. All right, so you have an LED rechargeable LED flashlight here. That's right there in case you need it all the time. You have a little storage pocket here on the left side. Now these seats fold down pretty easy. Just pull that, it lowers the headrest, and you just kind of push it down a little ways and it goes the rest of the way by itself. And so you can see that I've added to my cargo space by folding seats down. Now you can have a combination of passenger space, cargo space, whatever your needs, but once you open up everything, once you fold down all the seats, it really opens up this huge cargo space in the back of the vehicle. Okay, so closing the power liftgate, all you have to do is push this button. It beeps at you a couple times and comes right on down. Now if something were to get in the way, like my hand, it just, very little pressure, it goes right back up. So it's fairly safe. You do want to watch out for children as far as their fingers. When it gets very close to the end, it might still pinch them, but in general, it's not going to crush a shopping cart or anything like that. You have a lockable fuel door, and it's on the driver's side, which is very convenient and safer, I would say. And you don't even need a cap on this vehicle. It's a capless design. You just put your nozzle in there, pump your gas, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about losing a cap being in the way while you're pumping gas, or the cap being too loose and turning your check engine light on. You have a little seal around the outside, but this is a 2-stage opening. You actually can't even push through it unless the nozzle is the precise size of the nozzle, the correct nozzle size. And then there's a 2-stage, so it has to go past this, and then there's another door that opens up as well. It does require a funnel if you're going to use a gas can, so that way you can access the tank properly. To start it up, all I need is the key inside. It could be in my pocket or whatever. Put my foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Floor mat hooks in place. You have the accelerator and brake pedal there, all open, plenty of leg room. You have a foot actuated parking brake here. You also have a footrest, place to put your foot there while you're driving, all carpeted. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the right of center. So here's your center position, a little bit to the right. It's kind of small, but you reach in there, move it to the left, and you lift up just a little tiny bit. You see there's almost no pressure. You can lift it up, and it goes the rest of the way by itself. There's the latch there. So you just reach in, move it to the left like so. Okay, so you have a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission that is fantastic. And the engine compartment, you can see it's sealed all around the outside. You have that rubber seal sealing it up. It also has the insulation, pretty thick insulation there on the firewall. All this helps with noise and heat and all that good stuff. Kind of channels the heat in the correct direction. You can see a little bit of the engine here. And the fuel filter is just underneath this cover, so it's easy to change that pretty relative to other vehicles. Here's the inside of the driver's door, and it's just like the other side except for it has a few more buttons. You have 2 memory seat positions. Your door lock controls, your power window controls, and your side mirror controls are right here. And the front 2 are automatic one-touch up and down. So let's go ahead and see how fast it goes. Now I'm going to stop it right there. I want to show you. This one has the laminated glass. So you have 2 panes of glass with a lamination acoustic material on the inside, which helps out with, makes it a stronger piece of glass, but also it keeps outside vibrations like sound from vibrating the outside and making it on the inside. It gets absorbed by that center acoustic material. So you have an all-powered adjustable seat for the driver with a 4-way power lumbar support. Here's your leather seats. Right in here is your headlight controls. So you have an automatic, off, parking light, and on, and you just push this in like so to turn on your fog lights. Interior dimmer switches are here for your gauges. You also have a tilt and a telescoping steering column. You lock it in place right here with this ambidextrous lever. Okay, let's go ahead and start looking on the inside from the driver's position. And tons of leg room. I mean, I could put my legs almost completely straight out. My knees have plenty of leg room as well. Let's take a quick peek at the window sticker. I want you to use the pause button if you want to read it in more detail. Just going to kind of quickly scan across it, just in case you need to get some information on it in the future. Now I'm going to have most of this information in the descriptions. You can read it there as well. Okay, so starting here on the steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel with some really good thickness, and it's soft to the touch, so it doesn't dig into your bones while you're driving. The thickness helps out with that as well. Your cruise control is here on the right. You have the paddle shifters on the back, your plus and minus. But just below the paddle shifters on the back, there's a toggle switch up and down. You can see there's a toggle switch with a center button. And the one on the right is for your volume. So your volume can, you can adjust it. Basically, it's designed your hands behind your steering wheel here, and your fingers are there, and it lines up perfectly. And you can adjust your volume on the right side. The pushing on the right side also, and the center button changes your AM, FM, satellite radio. Your audio source is what that does. On the left side, on the back, you have changed through your stations, like through your tracks on your device or different radio stations up and down. Center button will change through your presets on your radio. Your Bluetooth controls are here. You can, once you pair a phone with the system, you can wirelessly answer calls and hang up, and you can do voice commands. You can say go to a certain address on the navigation. You can change the radio station, adjust the climate control, call people, all that good stuff by using your voice while your hands are on the wheel, eyes on the road. It's a really awesome safety feature, and it's just super convenient as well. These buttons here correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in a minute. You have your windshield wiper controls on your turn signal. Okay, so your gauges, check it out. You have the red background lines, the black background, and then you have the white lettering popping through all that. The red really makes it sporty looking. You have your RPMs there on the left. On the right side, you have your fuel gauge and your engine coolant temperature. But right here in the center, you have this screen, and it shows your outside temperature, your digital compass, and your odometer at the center, bottom. And right in the very center, you have your digital speedometer. And there you can get some more information. You can see these little icons here. So I'm going to scroll down. But before I do that, I'm going to scroll to the right to show you that you can change the speedometer, the look of the speedometer. So you can change that, go to right or left. You can go down, and you notice it moves the digital speedometer up. So you still have that in play. Now, if you were to change it to this view and scroll down, the information will show up in the center. So I'm going to change it back there. Okay, so there's your vehicle info screen. If I scroll to the right, it shows the tire pressure. It goes to transmission temperature, oil pressure, oil life, battery voltage, tire pressure again. Scrolling down again, this is where you have your fuel economy. So it'll actually show you a real-time meter there showing you what you're getting on your fuel economy, and it'll have an average. It gets much better than that, by the way. That's just because the vehicle hasn't been driven. Alright, scrolling down again, you have your trip. You have trip A and trip B. Now this will give you a timer, your distance traveled, and your average miles per gallon. This is showing you the status of your stop-start feature. Now this is a feature that will actually, if all the parameters are met, it will turn off your engine while you're holding the brake. And as soon as you let go of the brake, say if you're at an extended red light or a stop sign or whatever, it's going to turn your engine off. As soon as you let go of the brake pedal, it's going to start your engine up, and before you can even push the gas, it'll be already running. So that's pretty neat how it works. It kind of saves gas. You can turn that feature on and off if you don't want to use it. Also, here's your radio screen showing you what your radio is doing. Stored messages will show up here, like if it's time to change your oil or something like that. It's going to pop up and let you know. But if you need to you just go ahead and start driving your vehicle, it's going to put you those messages in this position. And then you have a whole setup screen, so we can go into that. You can change, like let's say you don't want the upper left, we have a compass. Let's say we want to change that. Let's change that to range, so we know how many miles we can drive. Let's go ahead and change that. So you can see we now have the range up there. So that's pretty convenient. So it's a customizable screen. And then it scrolls back to your digital speedometer. So it kind of gives you an idea of what that screen's all about. You don't have to go in there and look at everything all the time, but it's there in case you need to look at it. So we already saw your start button here, but let's look at your center stack. Has that chrome outlining. It's looking pretty nice. Soft to the touch dash all the way around, even over on this side as well. And so this is the 8.4 Uconnect screen. Very easy to use once you know some basic principles. And one thing is your icons across at the bottom will be able to, they'll stay there and they'll give you the access to all these different screens at a touch of a button at the very bottom. So right now we're in the radio screen and you have AM, FM, satellite radio, gives you your pictures and all that stuff. Favorites there at the top. You can adjust your audio over here. You have the equalizer, the balance, the fade, the speed adjusted volume, all that good stuff. Next icon will be your media. This is where you can play music through a USB drive, auxiliary input, wirelessly through Bluetooth, or an SD card. You have controls for your heated seat and heated steering wheel. You also have the ability to look at your backup camera without being in reverse, which is pretty awesome. Alright, your heated seat on the passenger side. The headrest fold. I only have one seat up, but let me show you what that does. You can look back there, and you see that one headrest that's open, that's up. It folds it down, so it'll fold both of them down if both of them are up. Gives you better visibility. It's not really made for getting on your passengers' nerves or torturing them or anything like that. It's made for getting more visibility when there's nobody back there. Okay, so you have all your settings here. There's tons of settings to go into. And then you have your apps here in the center. This is your next icon. And it has all these buttons that you can, basically optional buttons that you can use down at the bottom. So right now we have navigation right here, but let's say I want to change that to travel link. So I'm going to push and hold that, kind of slide it down, and it replaces the navigation screen. I want to change it back, find the navigation screen, slide it down, put it there. Next icon is your climate control, and you have your fan speed, your temperatures for your driver and passenger, which you can sync if you want to. You have your air conditioning and your front rear defrost controls there at the top, as well as your rear climate. So you can turn that on and adjust it from here. Go ahead and turn that off. Go back to front climate. Alright, next button is your navigation. You can put in a specific address, you can have saved addresses, you can save your home address, you can find different points of interest here, or you can just view the map like so, get your bearings. Alright, let's zoom out so we can get our bearings. We're in Whiteville, North Carolina at Vann, Underwood. You notice as you zoom in and out, the lettering will reposition itself for better view, so you can see it better. Now I'm noticing it has a truck there as the icon, so let's go ahead and change that to a Viper. So we don't want a truck. We're not driving a truck. We're driving a Durango, which maybe we wanted a Viper, but we bought a Durango. So we'll change that to a Viper. There we go. Alright, so that gives you an idea of the navigation system. It's pretty standard as far as finding addresses and all that good stuff. Alright, and then the last icon here is your phone. Once you pair a phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls. You'll be able to dial with a little pad. You have your caller ID there. You also have your recent calls up at the top, and then you can transfer back to your cell phone. Like say if you're having a conversation that you want to keep private and there's a bunch of people in the vehicle, hit transfer, pick up your phone, and you can talk that way. I want to go back to the apps because I want to show you something on TravelLink, which is pretty cool, which is fuel prices. Now, if you're in an area in which you're not familiar with, you can of course sort it by fuel. You can have say you want to have premium fuel, stuff like that. This particular vehicle doesn't require premium fuel, but let's say you are in an area you're not familiar with, you're looking for a gas station. You can find it by distance, by brand, or by price. So if you want to get super cheap, you can find the cheapest gas station, or if you're desperate for gas, you can go ahead and get to the closest one. It also has weather and all kinds of cool stuff in TravelLink. It's a really neat option here to look at stuff besides, you know, digging out your phone and trying to go through that. Okay, so that's kind of a quick rundown of this particular screen, and your time and your temperatures are at the top, as well as your outside temperature and your digital compass at the top as well. Okay, so you have your volume tuned through the stations. The back button is to go back out of certain screens on here. You can always turn this screen off. If it's just distracting you, you can push that button, turns it off, you just tap it and it turns right back on. So you have some redundancy as far as your climate control. So you have your fan speed, your temperatures, and you recirculate the air conditioning, and your front and rear defrosters here. So you don't actually have to go into that screen all the time to adjust them. Because if you're have it on a different screen, navigation or whatever, these are things that you want to adjust frequently usually. Your parking sensors, as you're backing up, it'll beep at you if you get close to something. If that's just annoying you and you need to get close to something, you can always turn that off if you need to. The stop start feature you can turn off. Eco off, so basically the vehicle's automatically in eco mode, which you can turn off so you get a little bit better performance, but you'll cut back on your fuel economy. Sport mode will automatically turn off eco mode, and you'll get this little picture up here, sport mode on. And this will tell the vehicle that you want the highest performance and you don't really care about fuel economy at that moment. And then you have traction control off. So if you want to spin tires, or for whatever reason, whether you're stuck or you just want to do whatever, you can turn off traction control. You have a 12-volt power supply here. You see it has that key showing you that it's turned on and off with the ignition. Then you have an auxiliary, USB, and SD card inputs right there next to this big pocket, so you can put your device there in the center and plug it in or whatever. Okay, so here's your shifter, and you can see it's just a turn knob. So I put my foot on the brake. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. Two things will happen. The backup camera will pop up here with active guidelines, so as I turn the steering wheel, it will turn those as well. Also, your parking sensors will pop up here, and not only will it give you an audible alert, but it'll also give you a visual indicator on which direction, whether left or right or center, the object is that is in the way. Alright, so you have neutral, and then there's your drive. There's your normal drive position. It's going to cycle through the 8 gear ratios automatically. And we already saw the paddle shifters. Those are used to downshift or change through the gears manually. Now if you accidentally bump the paddle shifter and you change a gear, you press and hold the right paddle shifter, the plus, and it'll go back into drive. Cup holders are illuminated. You see these at night. They're all like a Tron line going on around here. It also has these little spring-loaded adjusters to accommodate for different size cups, and it's open here in the center, so you can utilize this space for other things besides just cups. Storage pocket right here, which is a good place to put the key if you don't like to have it in your pocket. Okay, here's your center armrest, and it's soft to the touch, very comfortable, and I think it's big enough you might be able to share with your passenger depending on how generous you are. It has a stitching here on the end. Now this has two openings. There's two buttons in the front. One is a small one on the right. This opens up a smaller compartment that's felt lined. Has a place for wires to go in and out of this compartment as well. And then the larger button. You can see it has a small and large buttons. Also, you see it has some place to put like a tissue box or something in the lid. But pushing the larger button will access the large compartment, and it's a felt lined compartment as well. It also has a 12-volt power supply in there, and it's showing you right here it's a 12-volt DC with a battery emblem symbol, so that's letting you know that it is directly connected to the battery and you don't have to have the vehicle on. You can charge your cell phone or whatever while you're going in the store with the vehicle off. Okay, you have an auto dim rear view mirror. Also, the side mirrors are auto dim, or the one on the driver's side is. And it's auto dimming actually right now because I have this shade over the light sensor. Now, you can turn that feature on and off with this button. Now, you notice it has 911 and assistance right here. This vehicle has its own cellular connection, so even if you don't have your cell phone with you, you can push 911 and get emergency assistance. You can speak to a 911 operator through the speakers of the vehicle. You also have an assistance button. This is for roadside assistance. You get a flat tire, run out of gas, all that stuff. The roadside assistance comes with new vehicles for a certain amount of time, but you can push that button and get a roadside assistance operator through the wireless, through the its own cellular connection in the vehicle without your cell phone. Alright, so here is a place to put your shades, and it has like this foam area, foam material on the inside to protect them. So you have tap lights, there's a floodlight, and then there's more of a spotlight, like so. So you have flood and spot. Your HomeLink garage door opener controls are here. You have the ability to open up your power lift gate or close it. There's your visor, and it has mirrors and lights. It has two lights, so you don't have this big shadow on your nose. and then you have the visors able to extend out so you can get that right position, because the sun is always trying to get in your face when you drive. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. All right. So, well, I have the headrest down and some of the seats down, but I think this will give you an idea. The headrest kind of a little bit diminish your visibility, but they're so easy to fold down, so it's not a big deal. But in general, you have a lot of glass back there. You have, for the second and third row, windows, and then you have the big glass there in the center. Of course, you have the backup camera and the parking sensors and all that good stuff too. Okay, so there you have it. 2017 Dodge Durango GT in the Blacktop with the Blacktop package. So thank you for watching, and thank you to Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle. See you guys next time.